It's a beautiful morning, probably about 6:30 here. Trying to lay things out so that in an hour or so I can start turning on saws and being loud. Yesterday we were able to continue fiddling with the sill plates, and we have to do some things differently. Like, for example, these rascals, there are some kids setting these bolts and they decided to snake them back and forth. So my wife ran to Idaho Falls yesterday and grabbed some replacement bolts after a lot of running around, where we can reset certain things. There's a few others in here, and there's a few that are in the way of joists, and so we'll have to work around those or reset them or cut them off and put a new one in. So I'll be doing that today. We also started on the pony wall down the middle. So we ran a really tight string line, and we took a measurement on we marked every 16 and took a measurement on every one. My son wrote them down. And then we came up here and cut and numbered them all to match. And then we'll toenail them all in today and then throw on a double top plate across. And we also built a small header that will go right there, so that there's a 32 to 35 inch pass through, so any of us that are working under there can get under there, the plumber especially, and me in the future if I need to get under there for anything. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I think my cement's dry for the landing pad to get down into the crawl space while I'll build the trap door there. I'm hoping my joists come today. It's a Friday, and they were supposed to deliver the missing joists yesterday, but I'll be really frustrated if they don't come today. I'm gonna call them, because tomorrow, either later today or tomorrow, I hope to be in a position to start rolling the joists and getting those into place and sheeting the floor. So, and that way Monday I can hit the ground running with framing the exterior walls. So here we go, sun's up. Time to turn on saws soon. Okay, the studs are up. My biggest worry in building this wall is string line dip in the middle. I mean, it's a 60-foot span. Tried to accommodate for that, but if anything, we'll slip some shims in the middle if I start to see a little bit of dip. So, and I built this header so that there's a pass through here. Should be plenty of space for the plumber and me and anybody else. Plumber running all the pipes and me running all the wiring to get through. I was gonna put one down at that end, but I was like, most of the plumbing is, well, all of the plumbing is right here. So this is fine. And then I only have to go down there. It'll be me doing the wiring. So if I'm annoyed by there being one pass through, it's my own fault. Time for top plates. There he is. Grab your tool belt, get down here. See how high the sun is? They just brought the rest of our joists. So we have 51 total, but I only count 45, so I don't know. Okay, the pony wall is built. Got the door, got the double top plate, and got my brother, who's construction management dude down in Utah, and built his own house. He's off. All else fails, you a 4-foot level. So we strung our string lines and we're off a ½ inch or so in the middle, so we just used a 4-foot level as we came across, shimming here and there, and seems to be dead on. So we're gonna work on making sure the sill plates are all set right, fixing things like this, moving it to the middle, re-drilling. I have some new bolts we got yesterday. We'll get that all dialed in, and then that's all set. We're gonna lay out the joists, which came, be ready to roll them. What'd you point to me? Poor guy. So one of the things I am doing here before we roll the joists is I cut the end off a joist, because we'll be trimming off, I don't know, several inches. So I just took a dummy end, made myself a form, and once I marked the center point on 16 of where I want my joist to sit, I'm just going around with this paint marker and marking where they'll all sit. And the joist will run this way, and so I'm doing it down the sides, but then the last joist will sit about here, and then I'll be adding in little about 15 or 14 and something inch deals that I'll tie into the rim board, sit on this, and go over and with a joist hanger hang on that one,
and kick across. That way we can get insulation up in there, and we can plumbing and electrical on that side, and whatever else we need to do. That's just the way I've decided to do it. I've seen various ways to do it, and that seemed the way I chose. So, but I do like this. That way we're not like, all right, get it on center and trying to find that center. I want this. This is the exact width of those joists, and we'll plunk them all right down in place. And I'm marking them all in red. I had done other markings in black, but I'm choosing not to do that. Anyway, just getting ready for tomorrow. All right, we finished that pony wall at about 11 a.m. this morning, and then it is 8:30, so 9.5 hours later. There's not much different, except there are no longer bolts. I cut them off and moved them wherever they hit the joists. And we tried all kinds of configurations of the joist to miss as many bolts as possible, and we couldn't because the bolts were just haphazardly set in the cement, and snaky lines going down, not even on this side with that side, and just a mess. If you ever go back to that point, I would say, I am starting my truss lines here, and I'm going there, and I would like the marks here, and just go in and make the marks on their forms, as long as they're fine with that. Well, they should be. And say, this is where I want the bolts, and I want them 3 fingers or more from the edge, so I can put the rim board in without problems, and that would have saved us a ton of time. But as it is, the rim boards are now all set. Any seams that didn't have bolts, I've thrown bolts in, like right here. That one didn't have one, so I set one in. I used my hammer drill to drill in, which was fairly simple, easy to do. I mean, it took a long time, but it was not problematic at all. And then before we did that, we laid out our joists, as I showed you in another, and then we went ahead and marked the whole pony wall as well to match up with the 2 outside walls. So we are, I think, ready in the morning, Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, to receive joists. And we'll start sliding them in and setting them in place. And I think we'll set those in place, and then we'll get a rim board chalk line set first, and then we'll set them in place. We'll do some procedure where we cut the ends off and then set them in place or something. I'm so tired I can't articulate what we're going to do in the morning. But joists are going on. And if that goes smooth, then floor sheeting will go on, and that would be lovely by tomorrow evening to have the joist set and the floor sheeted. So Monday I can start framing walls. That's it. That's the pony wall and rim board video. All is well. We're set, as well as the sun.